Hi everyone, welcome back to Nodcry. Turns out I'm obsessed actually. Oh my god. After doing the Hexen Circle quest last time, I have been reintroduced to just how wonderful Lunar Crystallize is. I am having a blast. I've been doing my Zhongli, Albedo, Columbina, Venti team. So I get the Hexarray buffs on Venti and Albedo. And oh my god, I'm obsessed. It's reached a point where it's not even just one rotation anymore. I do one rotation, everything dies, and then people who then run into the area also die. So it's half a rotation. 2 birds with 1 stone. I'm obsessed. I'm having so much fun. I had to pull myself away from chasing ley lines to come record this, and I just want to go back out there. But alas, we have things to do today. So hi everyone. Welcome back. We are here in Nodcry. But this is going to be one of our last moments opening here. Unless we have another Columbina or Nicole pop up. But I think it's just Columbina at this point, because that was the last bit of Nicole, right? Wasn't it? Oh, we have that quest to do, though. So we probably will do that. We are here in Nodcry to wrap a few things up before we leave this area, is the point. So, the first thing I wanted to do is something that a lot of you mentioned in the comments. Thank you so much for doing so, because I would have totally missed it if you hadn't. We need to sneak through Nasha Town. We're avoiding Catherine. Looks like that's where the Archon quest is. And we're going to try to head to the inn. Because, apparently, there's a certain something left there for us by a certain someone on behalf of a certain someone else. Let's head on over. You know, I had some thoughts about the mysterious line that Yehoda had when we ran into her in the Curatorium. I wonder if that has anything to do with the summer event, actually. I'm not entirely sure if that timeline lines up. I think it was I was doing Moon Prayer Night, and I was running around to see if there were any hidden interactions, and I found Yehoda saying something about Nefer not feeling well. So I don't know if that aligns with the summer event, but maybe. If those characters pop up in it, that might explain why Yehoda was saying that when it didn't seem to be connected to anything else that was going on. That's my new theory. My game theory, if you will. Anyhow, let's head back to our room. I believe it's the second one, right? It is! Look at the arrows! Okay, quick check to see if Columbina left us anything. Doesn't seem like she did, or like we can see it if she did. And today, Marionette's notebook is what we're going to read. I'm assuming it's not this. I assume it's this one that the giant floating arrow is on top of. But let's see if we can sit down and read this. I can't believe she left something for us. Or at least Arlecchino deemed that we should have this one. I'm so curious what's in it. Now that I think about it, every time I saw Sandrine, the notebook she had with her was never exactly the same. Probably because she was someone who loved taking notes and often had new ideas. Wow. You know how grief works sometimes, where after you've adjusted to the fact that is causing you grief, it hits you again? When you think about it from another angle. The idea that she often had new ideas, she was constantly coming up with things, and now she's not doing that anymore. Oof, that hit me. Though she is a machine, to you and her companions, Sandrine is entirely human. Her joys, sorrows, and emotions are not much different from yours. The notebook that the knave hands you is somewhat aged, with creases at the corners as if it had been accidentally folded and then carefully smoothed out by someone. Sandrine has a lot of stories about her recorded in it. You're not sure if the knave has read them. But judging from the expression on her face when she gave you the notebook, she seems to know Sandrine very well even without it, and is even responsible for carrying out her last wishes. Why was that last wishes in quotes, actually? Is it too desperate to let that give me hope? Oh my god! Certain date, sunny that day. Alain has provided me with many notebooks. I often discard them after making a few markings. On those occasions, his expression was unreadable. Nevertheless, he supplies me with new ones. I do not understand his reasoning. I do not know why I discarded them after making markings. I do not know why he permits this behavior. He states that my emotion module is optimal. I do not comprehend. This is a new notebook. I do not wish to discard it. I have learned to record. I am beginning to record. Wow, this feels like it's from very early on in her life. Wow. Another day, also sunny. I have learned more, and my manner of speech has become more elegant. Elegant is the new word I have learned. Hélène advised me not to push myself. I disagree. I've performed exceptionally well. We conversed this afternoon. I have drawn several conclusions. 1, Hélène created me. 2, he modeled me after memories of his deceased sister, and now he feels guilt. 3, my learning ability exceeds his expectations. There's the answer. So she was created in memory of her, but he regretted it. I think because he probably then came to feel like he was trying to replace her, but that hadn't been his intent. But he can't just destroy Sandrone because her, basically, sentience exceeds his expectations. I hope they find an understanding at some point about who she is to him and what her life means. Hélène Guillotin's younger sister was named Mary Anne Guillotin. She passed away long ago. Hélène finalized my creation on his 65th birthday. He stated that I am a friend, a family member. He expressed happiness about gaining a companion. Hélène has not defined our relationship. It is evident that I am not Mary Anne Guillotin. He concurred, noting that I am significantly different from his sister. He expressed a desire for me to act according to my own will. When I stated that I would no longer discard the notebooks, Hélène's composure wavered briefly. He likely experienced an urge to weep, but ultimately suppressed it. Hélène said I could choose a birthday if I wished. I will consider this proposal seriously. He mentioned that most people cannot choose their birth date, but I can. I am free. Aww. It's so cool to see her perspective as a young existence. This I'm curious about, his urge to weep. Do you think that was something that Marianne did? Do you think she often discarded notebooks after only using them for a little while? Or is he weeping at witnessing Sandrone growing, basically? Another day, overcast this time. Hélène's physical condition continues to deteriorate. Doctors have visited frequently. Each time he closes the door, I am excluded from the process. I sense something unfamiliar. Later, Hélène identified the sensations as anger and sadness. He expressed satisfaction that I was learning to recognize them. However, he noted that I do not yet understand guilt. He explained that the social mechanisms behind this emotion are too complex for most animals or machines to acquire easily. I have concluded that understanding guilt is not a necessary function for me. Hélène inquired about my desires. My response was, I want you to be healthy. Also, Hélène presented a new invention to me. He has named it Polonia. That's why she was so protective of Polonia. Quite possibly one of, if not the final gift that Hélène ever gave to Sandrone. I cannot classify Polonia as family, kin, or friend. Its architecture lacks an emotion module comparable to mine. The reason for Hélène's design choice to create it with different specifications is unclear to me. He asserted that both Polonia and I are unique and cannot be replicated. He clarified that I am myself, whereas Polonia is merely a mechanical construct. New day. Overcast. Sorted through the warehouse and cleaned the room. Debugged Polonia's basic functions. Oh, Hélène has passed away, hasn't he? Cleaned the room. I bet that's Hélène's room that she was cleaning out. And she has so much less to say now that he's gone. I think she's discovered grief. Seems like it. Oh, maybe not. Okay. We know he's going to die, but maybe he's not quite gone. Another day, this time rainy. Hélène has passed out. His condition is deteriorating. The doctor examined him with a grim expression. Hélène's subordinate came to visit him, bringing a brand new tea set and some expensive tea leaves. Hélène doesn't like to drink tea, nor is he used to using luxurious things, so the tea set is mine. And that's why she likes tea parties! Oh my god! Because in a way, I think it reminds her of him. At least it reminds her of her time with him, I bet. Another day, sunny. All my potted plants are thriving. This is simple. and it seems almost too straightforward to claim any credit for myself. When conditions are right, they simply grow on their own, independent of any gardener. I see a parallel in myself. I, too, don't rely on anything to grow. I guess she doesn't need food or water or sun or rest. She just is. Overcast. Today, I helped Elen with Polonia's final tests. He's been unable to walk, so I transported him there in the wheelchair. Elen displayed little emotion. Despite Polonia's stable performance, he wasn't satisfied. He explained that Polonia is, in essence, merely an algorithm designed to calculate the unknown. As for what the unknown is, he himself is uncertain. The scope of the unknown is vast, too vast to quantify. I find it difficult to process that even he lacks an answer, and that this realization causes him sorrow. I don't understand. Elen asked, "How shall we view the fate of this world?" "Use a detector," I responded. I love their dynamic. Young Sandrone is so sweet in a way. She's very straightforward. It's charming. Another day, sunny. Elen has entrusted me with his old notebooks. It brings me genuine joy, and I find great value in the knowledge he imparted. Lately, I've been contemplating the fate of this world. I quickly concluded that it is an inquiry without an answer. If people cannot even grasp their own destinies, how can they presume to meddle with the world's? A truly foolish notion. Elen remarked that there are quite a few fools who hold such ideas. I laughed and gave him a disbelieving look. Then he began to laugh as well, though I cannot comprehend what he finds amusing. He was talking about Renee, and she basically said Renee must be fooling himself. And Elen thought that was funny. And it's also amazing because later on, she uses both of their research to compute a world formula. So she does it in the end. Wow. The next time it's sunny, I bought new bed sheets, pillowcases, and curtains. My room is now refreshingly tidy. I must say, that was a clever decision. The next day, maybe sunny? I've been too modest in my recent records. I'm not just smart, I'm brilliant. I am a quick learner. Even Elen agrees. She's starting to realize how gifted she is. Oh, a long one. It's sunny today. Elen's body won't hold on much longer. He sat by the fireplace and told me some stories. He created me, in the beginning, to honor the memory of the years he spent with his sister. He hadn't even decided what to do with me when he first brought me into being. Later, he hoped I could travel on his behalf, to see the world and broaden my own horizons. One problem. Elen and I are now colleagues, both tied down by long-term professional commitments. It seems true freedom to travel is for those unburdened by work. As he put it, that dream lies in ruins now. A complete and utter failure. He mentioned that he once had another wish, but abandoned it long ago. I pressed him for details, and he admitted, with some awkwardness, that he once dreamed of saving the world when he was young. I asked if this was a wish I needed to inherit. He was taken aback and firmly told me no. He said I can do anything I like, and that he has no expectations of me. Elen asked if there was anything I wanted to do. Well, I haven't found that yet. Ooh. This is cool, because I feel like we can start to see here the pieces of her experiences in her youth that turned her into who she was when we knew her. Wow. This is so nice. This is so nice. I feel like we're getting to know her better, but at the same time, it's like, yeah, this is... I recognize her in these pages at the same time. Oh. A sunny day? Parents are responsible for bringing children into the world, and children are responsible for their future. This is a social rule. I believe the final unspoken tenet of this rule is that children are also responsible for their parents' final years. Wow. That's amazing coming from her. You know, she seems so standoffish, but she is, of her own accord, choosing to take on a debt to someone else because they cared for her, basically. I don't know. It just, there is a kind side to her, basically. There is a side that recognizes what other people have done for her and what they mean to each other, basically. Anyhow, Alen's final years have reached their end. He left a will concerning his remaining possessions, a small sum of savings, Polonia, and some notebooks. He asked me to burn the notebooks after his death to avoid theft. Oh, wasn't that mentioned in the biography we read during the Archon quest? Something along those lines? Honestly, given the sheer volume, Polonia is probably the only one who could steal them. Polonia was Alen's final pursuit in life. It is a pity he did not live to see it produce a definitive answer. He told me not to worry about it, and that I could leave Polonia to the Fontaine Research Institute. His only regret that those people wouldn't know how to maintain it as well as I do. I disagree with this plan. Polonia will remain with me. However, I am not sure what I should use it for. There it is, so he's passed away. And I think, I thought originally that he would have died here. But he lasts a lot longer, over to here, and I think in between those two entries, Tendrone herself grew as a person. And so, it makes sense at this point that she handled his death very well. She was absolutely expecting him to pass away. Wow. Rainy, today was Alen's funeral. Heavy rain fell throughout the ceremony, as if someone was crying in the sky. Oh, wait, this would have been in Fontaine, right? Heavy rain fell throughout the ceremony, as if someone was crying in the sky. Ugh, annoying! Holding an umbrella in the rain is so inconvenient. Alen was laid to rest, and everything proceeded smoothly. I was the one who stepped forward to bid him farewell, while Polonia stayed behind to look after the house. The weather didn't clear up until midnight. I sat by the grave for a while, keeping Alen company, with the moon in the sky keeping me company in turn. The night was very quiet. No more sounds of labored breathing. It feels as if the only companion I have left in this world is the moon. Oh. Wow. This is an incredible paragraph, I think, because it conveys her personality so well. Her processing of grief. She sat by the grave the whole day, even though it was pouring rain, and she was holding the umbrella. Not even Polonia. Polonia was at home. And she feels like the only companion left in the world is the moon, and this is probably even before she met Columbiana, so just how poetic. What an ending there. On the other hand, Neuvillette and Alen-Guillotin. I assume they at least crossed paths. I'm scanning my brain for any memories from the artifact sets that we read in Fontaine. Particularly, there's one that talks about basically Alen and Marianne's adoptive father, right? That's the Marichaussee Hunter set. I'm remembering that, but I don't recall if it mentions Neuvillette. I wouldn't be surprised if it did, though, because of the adoption. That's a legal procedure, so maybe he was involved in confirming that. But still, it seems like Neuvillette was very sad that day. Although he must have... Either they were close, or it might have been something like Navia's father, where Neuvillette had some regrets about what happened. He died of basically old age and illness, it seems like. So maybe they were close indeed. Oh, man, Neuvillette's been through a lot. But I mean, if you're that old, it's kind of inevitable. You're going to experience so much. Sunny day. I'm leaving now. Farewell. There she goes. Where is she going? Nobody knows, but hopefully to travel. It seems like she left the Fontaine Research Institute at the very least, right? Anyhow, the next log is Overcast, and it's an update log. Upgraded Polonia's tea brewing functions, upgraded Polonia's meal delivery functions, upgraded Polonia's book search functions, corrected a malfunction where Polonia could not hang laundry. To the outside, I'll claim that Polonia is my attendant. That should turn some curious stares away. I have to protect it. It's Alen's secret and his wish. what wish? They were talking about what wishes. You know, he wanted to save the world at some point. He wanted her to travel. This is making me think of Curve vibes. I have to protect it being Polonia, or the truth behind Polonia. What was he doing with Polonia? He described it as an algorithm. Is it something to do with Polonia's ability to calculate the world formula once he was in possession of Wanderer's core and had that extra brain power? I mean, Tandrone had to compute the formula first, like, you know, design it for him to run it first, so... What did you do to Polonia, Elen? What were you working on? I wonder if we'll know. Overcast. Snezhnaya is so cold, though it has nothing to do with me. Overcast again. I found a new job, and the pay is pretty good. My boss is a woman with an icy with an icy demeanor. And I do mean icy. As for my colleagues, they're a real mixed bag. It's already getting on my nerves. She found Snezhnaya. She's a harbinger. Congrats. Sunny. What's the point of a sunny day in Snezhnaya? It snows just as heavily. Ugh, my colleagues are so annoying. Rainy. Also, how does it... A sunny but snowy day. Interesting. Is it just always snowing there because of the Cryo Archon, do you think? Anyhow, Rainy. I haven't journaled for a good while. It just slipped my mind. Nothing felt particularly worth recording. And since it's something I don't feel like doing, I might as well pause it for now. Ooh. So what brings it back? A new text appears after a few blank pages. Sunny. Columbina is so annoying. Sunny. Arlecchino is so annoying. Overcast. What on earth was Dottore thinking? I simply cannot agree with his approach. I wonder if that's the incident when she saved his employees. Overcast. It's been a week since the new project was launched, and it's still stuck in the approval process. What is Pantalone's problem with financial approvals? Why is he so ridiculously stringent? It's not like it's his personal money. It all belongs to the Fatui. Snowy. Dottori's project was approved 10 times faster than mine? Ugh. He and Pantalone should do me a favor and to disappear from my sight. I love the answer to, ooh, I wonder what's going to bring back her journaling habit. It's complaining. Complaining about everything. Sunny. I'm meeting with Her Majesty the Tsaritsa. Duration, 2 hours, 15 minutes. Sunny. Rosalind brought me a new tea set, claiming it was from Mondstadt, and a bottle of wine. That's odd. Didn't she say she couldn't be bothered to go to Mondstadt? Okay. We've got a time zone here, or a time landmark. Because when she says the new project, I'm like, ooh, what is that? Which one? Is it one we know? Is it one from a long time ago? This seems to be Tandrone's project. It wasn't approved, you know? I wonder if we ever learned about that, or if we will learn about that. I don't suppose it turns into Project Stuja. Probably not, because Project Stuja feels like a very big thing, and it's being run by Pantalone, Regrator, and someone else, right? Or was it just those two? So I wonder what this new project is. But on the other side, if Signora went to Mondstadt, this is our conquest era. We have hit Mondstadt, or more like Rosaline has hit Venti. Oh no, sorry. Sorry, Venti, that was so mean. But the Art Conquest has started, the Travelers here in Tevat, and Signora is back from Mondstadt, so I expect to see Leoe popping up soon if she bothers to mention it, you know? I don't know if Sandrone cared at all about the happenings there. Alright, here we go. Sunny. Attended Piero's lecture. Not bad. The content is pretty good. Pulcinella's lecture is tomorrow. A lecture? Pulcinella? Isn't he the rooster? Let's get out the Harbinger notes. Pulcinella is the rooster, which makes him the mayor, right? So I could see Piero giving a lecture. It's highly likely he was connected to the Universitas Magistrorum, and he is sort of... He's the director of the Fatui, right? So I would assume that he's one of their main, like, this is why we're doing this, people. So I can see him being someone who gives lectures. Even if they're not public, maybe it's just for the Fatui. What on earth is Pulcinella doing giving a lecture? And a lecture that Sandrone would enjoy. Fascinating. Are these public things? Or is it like at the Royal Military Academy in Snezhnaya? Or is it Fatui only? I want to hear one of these lectures. More likely I want to read one of them, you know? I'm just curious. What on earth are they lecturing about? Rainy. A meeting with Capitano, Arlecchino, and Rosalind. Duration 40 minutes. So the tea set was purchased by mail. Oh, I see. Oh, so we're not in Mondstadt yet. Good to know. Well, that explains everything. Rosalind's new high heels are so loud. They're noisy, but I do like the gifts she gave me. I suppose I can cut her some slack. Heavy snow? Ooh la la. I wonder if that means anything with the Cryo Archon, like Rain does for Neuvillette. Columbian's preference for tea is quite ordinary, not as refined as Arlecchino's. Perhaps that's just like her. Do special people like ordinary tea, and ordinary people special tea? You're calling Arlecchino ordinary? Fascinating. Sunny. It's been 2 weeks since we lost contact with Tartaglia on his mission. Ooh. Ooh la la? Where did he go? What did he do? This isn't Larua you're talking about, is it? Tartaglia returned with a few scratches. I could see that being Larua because we fought him. Or I could see that being maybe he like went to the Abyss for some reason. Also, looks like Columbina and Dottore are on the outs. I didn't ask further. It was only a matter of time, anyway. Ooh, so that's when Columbina realized she shouldn't trust Dottore, basically. He took a big issue with that. It bothered him for a very long time. But that's the moment right there. I love how Sandrone noticed it. She does pay attention to her colleagues, even if she doesn't care particularly for them. Arlecchino and Columbina came over for tea and picked Rosalind up on the way. It was a good day. I should keep some cookies on hand for next time. Rosalind is dead. Okay. So we are definitely in Archon Quest era. I think she did go to Mondstadt, and I think she lied about it. Or she went, and then she came back, and then she mail-ordered the tea set because she forgot to get something. That would be funny. That was Mondstadt. This was Larua. Now that's interesting. We lost contact with Tartaglia? During Larua, he stopped reporting in? Because he was fine the whole time. He only got into that big fight with us at the very end. And then, you know, Rosalind shows up, and they return to Snezhnaya separately, right? So, that's interesting in hindsight. Now, I mentioned, you know, it seems like Sandrone pays attention even if she doesn't particularly care for her colleagues. I think she does care a lot more than she lets on, even to herself. But in this case, I almost wonder if this indicates that... Does Senora even care about her colleagues more than she let on? Because, on one hand, I can absolutely see her going in person because, you know, it's the finale of the deal with Zhongli. She needs to go retrieve the Gnosis, make sure it's with her, and then return. But theoretically, they also could have just issued the orders to Child and say, hey, here's the truth. Good job. You're done. Get the Gnosis and come back. Did she go in person because they lost contact with him? Did she decide to do that on her own, or did the Tsaritsa order her to go? That would be fascinating. But on the other hand, again, I can absolutely see just her wanting to go to get the Gnosis in person, because that's the whole point, you know? They did all that for the Gnosis, so naturally she wants to make sure it's safe and secured. Secret third option. Maybe it's that, and or also that she went in person because Sandrone was worried about Child because he stopped reporting in. That would be cool. 2 weeks. I don't think he would have... Like, I could see him being angry enough that he stops reporting in after the Larua Archon quest concludes. But on his mission, makes it seem like the mission was still in progress, you know? And Tendrede would know that it had ended because Rosaline would have returned and said, ha ha ha, I am victorious. Huh. Anyway. Then Inazuma happens and Senora is dead. I wonder, again, how much Sandrone in particular, but also potentially Arlecchino and Colombina, know about our role in Senora's death. You know? We didn't kill her, but we arranged for her to be executed if she lost to us, which she did, you know? On one hand, you know, I don't put the blame entirely on our shoulders. She was our enemy. She was... In that exact moment, was she threatening us? We challenged her to a duel before the throne. And she basically accepted, right? The Shogun approved, and then she accepted. She thought she would win, and then we would be killed. So it was, you know, a life or death situation for us. But we issued the challenge to begin with, knowing what would happen if she lost. So I wonder if they know about that. On one hand, I could kind of see them understanding that it happened like that because we were enemies at that time. You know, they're Fatui harbingers. I assume they respect what it means to be someone's enemy. But at the same time, it's fascinating because it seems like they were very close with Rosalind. And then we came along. Whoops. Do they know at all? What would their reactions be to learning that information at this point? I wonder. New text appears after a few blank pages. Most of it relates to the Notsitzenkreuz order, so abstruse that prolonged study leaves one busy. Mixed in are a few offhand comments which look like Sandrone's recent jottings. Capitano chose to stay in Natlan. Shame. And that's another heavy snow day. Ooh, when was the other heavy snow day? It's just about tea. Okay. Because if the snow is connected to the Cryo Archon like rain is to Neuvillette, I could see that being a reaction to Capitano's choice. But the other one doesn't quite match up. Sunny, Colombina hasn't been faring well since she resigned. Ha! Serves her right. I did warn her to think very carefully before making such decisions. But she wouldn't listen. The materials Arlecchino provided were extensive. I owe her my thanks. Important? Send gifts to the House of the Hearth. One for every child. Wow, Sandrone. A new project, and I have to collaborate with Dottore? I can't help but feel some resentment towards Her Majesty for this. But Her Majesty's plan, it must succeed. I think this is Notcry she's talking about. Gods, Colombina, can you stop being so annoying? I think this is her reaction to Colombina saving her and caring about her, even after she's left the Fatui. Polonia's situation is stable, optimizing algorithmic logic. Expecting several hours of downtime. A meeting with Arlecchino, duration 20 minutes. Tea break with Arlecchino, duration 1 hour. I love it. The tea break being, what is that? Being 3 times as long as the meeting with Arlecchino. Fantastic. But okay, so this is definitely Notcry era. I think that's even the tea break with Arlecchino, or the tea time with her, that we requested. Polonia was injured, but then repaired. Scattered among vast volumes of data are a few terms. Calculations, orthents. The probability of Colombina being alive is definitely higher than any other outcome. Absolutely. Also, today is Elend's birthday. Oh, she really wants her to be alive. I do hope the traveler's safe. It would be a great hassle otherwise. I appreciate the mention. Almost there. She's working on the formula, yep. Inconceivable. Hatguy's core is from Irminsul. Performance is stable. He seems to know us pretty well. Or maybe he's just the sociable sort? Absolutely not. Core assembly completed. System checked and deployed for combat. Recording the key points of this technique. By using Loanatars, a fragment of Colombina's soul, connection with a variable of this world, a descender, We aim to effect the retrieval of Columbina's complete soul from inside the moon's reflection. The survival of the traveler is a necessary condition for success. Oh, maybe she really came up there at that time in order to help us. She needed us for this to work. Oh, that does explain a lot. She also said she would bring it to us when the calculation was complete because she needed us to do this part. Oh, that's cool. Okay. Update log. Upgraded Polonia's core function to the world formula. Upgraded Polonia's search and retrieval functions. Implemented a new self-preservation mechanism for Polonia. Combat priority shifted from protecting me to protecting Polonia. Installed a false core and data destruction function. All log data will be cleared if the damage level falls below the critical threshold. Iterated on my self-preservation mechanisms. Ooh, yeah? Yes? Yes? So you can see that up to that final battle, she was indeed prioritizing Polonia over her. For possibly the first time in their respective existences. Well, I don't know. Do you think Alen would have programmed Polonia to be a combat robot? Anyhow, so she told Polonia to protect itself over protecting her. Additionally, she might even have been told herself to protect Polonia over her. Because look at this me, you know? Instead of saying combat priority shifted from protecting Marionette to protecting Polonia. Because I assume Polonia probably has her in its systems as Marionette. Anyhow. Installed a false core and data destruction function. Do you think that's about Polonia or about her? Because basically it's saying that if whoever this is reaches a certain level of critical damage, it will self-destruct. So that no information can be stolen by Dottore, basically. A false core, because Polonia had Wanderer's core at that time. She would definitely not tell it to destroy that, even if it was damaged, I think. I wonder if she's talking about herself. Oh my god. Oh my god, that kind of gives me hope. If she's talking about herself, a false core? That means she might have had a real core somewhere else? On the other hand, I feel like this would be temporary core if she moved her true core somewhere else. But still, breadcrumbs of hope. Please. I swear she would have made backup hers, right? Oh, wait a second. On one hand, it feels like she would be the type to make backup copies of herself. On the other hand, we know she has the technology because of the Catherines. Maybe she even made the Catherines in order to practice doing it for herself. But on the other hand, she really respects Alen and his work and his wishes. Do you think she would replicate herself? Because he made her. Do you think she would want to, at all costs, protect the version of her that he made? Then at the same time, maybe she would recognize that if something were to destroy her, then it's something that she did everything she could do to prevent. And at a certain point, she's, you know, not a miracle worker. If she gets destroyed, she gets destroyed. And so there's no point in being like, okay, if this Alen version of me gets destroyed, then I might as well stop existing. I feel like she would make a backup her just in case. You know, do all she can to avoid letting Alen's work be destroyed, but if it is destroyed, she's not just going to let herself die. Hopefully. Look, she iterated on her self-preservation mechanisms right up to the end. Maybe that self-preservation mechanism was another Marionette. And somebody just needs to get... So, where did... If she replaced her own main core with a false core, then either she installed her true core somewhere else, or maybe that's what Arlecchino was told to do, you know? Arlecchino is carrying out Centrione's final wishes, and I swear to you, if she planned for her own death, Arlecchino's tasks at the moment include doing something about that. I do believe. It's gone?! Oh, thank God. Okay. We get to keep it. Oh my god, he scared me for a second there. Where would that be? Here, right? Yeah... What? Where? Oh, there it is. 4-star. A relic from Sandrone passed to you by the knave. Its pages record many matters related to Sandrone. Although its cover and pages are worn with age, it is easy to see how much its owner once treasured it. And we can read it again. Wow! Oh, well, what a treat! When I first sat down and started reading and it gave us like the dialogue boxes, I thought that was all it would be. But no, 9 pages of writing. That's so cool. Look at this little drawing. What is that? Are those pencils? A drawing of pencils? That's adorable. Did Paimon make that? That's so cute. Who made that? I love it. Okay. Anyhow, 9 pages of writing. Time to go to bed. Let's see. There we go. Perfect. You see the traveler? Sleep standing up. It's a skill they've developed over the centuries. Anyhow. Any new thoughts based on what we just read? I mean, I was kind of going along with my thoughts as we read, but it just... These little breadcrumbs of hope really make me think she might have done something about her potential death one day. And that little note about the secret of Polonia is interesting, but does kind of concern me. Because there is a chance, I feel, that her final work didn't have anything to do with preserving her own life, but rather completing the wish of Alen's that was hidden within Polonia. Because if there is a secret here, and to be honest, it kind of doesn't feel like it. I'm really grasping at straws. If there is one here, maybe it isn't that Cendrone is still alive. And maybe it has something to do with Polonia, and that would explain why it doesn't feel like there is a big secret here. But at the same time, has Cendrone really never been destroyed over the last 500 years? I suppose it's possible. She's not a frontliner too much herself, I feel like. Alright, well, all that aside, all my hopes and dreams about Cendrone saving her own life aside, even if we never get to see her again, that was just a really nice conclusion to her story. I love hearing someone's own words and their own perspective on their emotions, basically. We saw a lot of how she felt about her colleagues, how she felt about her own life, and Alen and Polonia. It was cool to see more insight into her relationship with Polonia. That was such a treat. Thank you so much, Arlecchino, for sharing that with us. Okay, so I would like to go somewhere, because I think it is nearing time. It is nearing time to say goodbye to Nodcry. Oh, but we will be back. Oh, for this. Okay, so let's just go here for now and say a quick goodbye. Because for the next many episodes, we will not be here anymore. We are heading out. We're heading back to Mondstadt. So farewell, Frostmoon Scions. Thank you so much for your hospitality. Farewell, Nasha Town, and your Archon Quest landmark that I am avoiding at all costs. Farewell, Northern Isles, and those teleporters I couldn't find at the Fatui base because they're underground. We will be back. We will be back. This is not a final goodbye. But it is officially time to switch off of Nodcry mode. We have a lot to do. Take a look at that quest log. We have Lantern Rite to do. We have this Song of the Welcome Moon Archon quest, wherever that is. I guess it's in Nasha Town. We know that. But we'll be doing that later, because I believe that happens after Lantern Rite and after the Mondstadt expansion, which has Varka's story quest, which has Lowen's story quest, and I have found a new way to get to the story quest as well. If I go here, and I go here, this thing is always begging me to do all this stuff. Chenyu Vale has been here for about 2 years. But if I click this, it gets us into that story quest menu. So these are all the story quests I have yet to do. Wait, I've done these. Haven't I done these? How can you tell if you've done it? Well, oh, I see, if it says available. Also, if it's after Yelan, I haven't done it yet. What's the prerequisite quest? Ganyu, got you. So, look at all these people whose quests we need to do. Some of these I have kind of earmarked for after we catch up, but we are getting to the point where we are very close to catching up. Which means that we're getting to the point where some of the stuff I earmarked for, let's do this later, well, it's now later, so we're pulling those things back to the front. And one of those things is, as I have been mentioning briefly here and there, actually Chenyu Vale. A couple of you have been mentioning this in the comments with increasing frequency, and it's popping up in my mind in increasing frequency because of this. This was released with not this last Lantern Rite, but the one before, And there's this giant empty spot on my map, and guess what's right above this? Celestia. Celestia sits above that. I did a little bit of work several months ago at this point, where I went around the map and I took note of where Celestia was in the sky and triangulated its position, and it's definitely right there. And so as my questions about Celestia only increase, of course, over time, I really want to know what is here. Did Celestia rise from this point? Is there any connection here to Celestia? Why is Celestia floating right there if it's not from there, etc., etc.? So, for the rest of this episode, we're going to be in Chenyu Vale. Can you believe it? Wow. Let's get the quest tracking. I don't know how much time we'll spend there, but it might be a decent amount, because I think I'm very early in this quest. Let's navigate. Xiaoying Village is where we are. I believe what I remember of the quest is that we walked up to Chenyu Vale, and the second we crossed the boundary, we were pulled into an Adeptus's domain. We met Fujin. I looked up her name. And she told us basically that there was something wrong with the soil and the water. It's probably abyssal. And we need to help balance it. And I believe the abyssal miasmas that we run into that are messing with the monsters over there, and the carp energy that we run into that we can collect, probably both have something to do with it. Now, if that's the case, we might have a lot of work in front of us, because I have not collected a lot of that carp energy. But this is a little bit of a treat for me, because Chenyu Vale, in my humble opinion, is one of the most beautiful areas on this whole map. Gorgeous. Gorgeous. And it's basically some extra exploration for the road, which I, for one, am delighted by. Ooh, I don't need it. So, let's do as much of this as we can. My main goal is to get over to that dark area, unlock it, and also... Is there a closer teleporter? Probably. And also to progress this story in this world quest here, because that's probably where we will get our answers about that area. You know what? I think the reason it's not unlocked is I think I'm actually blocked from it at the moment. Oh, look at this place. It's gorgeous. Look at all the people. I love it. Look at the plants. Beautiful. Ooh, a challenge. Alright, there's a teleporter right there, actually. And now that there's a teleporter right there, I'm really quick. I want to peek over here. I swear to you, I'm not allowed to go over here. I think that's why I haven't unlocked it. Is this true? Me of the past? Let me try. Don't die. Even if I can unlock it at the moment, though, I would prefer not to. It feels like there's something missing, doesn't it? It feels like there's something that's supposed to be here. What's up with this fog? Oh, well, that's a puzzle right there. Ooh. Oh, hello. Oh, well, hello. Is it above us? No, there's nothing up there. Is this how you unlock this area? Okay. Okay. You know what? No. No, no, no. We're backtracking. We're going back. Okay, maybe we can unlock the area. We're not going to do it yet, though, because story. We need story first. Story gives me life. It's just like in Durin's story quest. We can't advance without the framework of the story before us. How could we? So let's talk to the tea-making workshop. Wow. Oh, there's a chest up there. And in the meantime, I can collect some chests. Oh man, I remember the roofs in Leo being so hard to climb. I feel like they deliberately made these roofs easier for us. I appreciate it.
A reward on the road.
A reward on the road, indeed. I have a lot of Primogems saved up right now. I'm very happy about that. Don't know who I'm saving them for. I guess we're about to start. Oh my god. Wait a minute. Snezhnaya is so soon. By the time you guys are watching this, Snezhnaya is probably out. How is it going? How is it? I mean, don't tell me anything, but is it... How is it? How are the characters? How is the design of the area? How's the music? Oh my god. Yeah, Snezhnaya is definitely out by now. Oh my god, wait. That's surreal. I feel like I just time traveled. Uncle Luo, this batch still isn't any good. They're not fragrant enough when you dry them, and they're so dry and brittle that you can't even put them in the roller. Even the ones that survive the secondary processes come out the other end a complete disaster. Oh, this is because the soil and the water are messed up, right? So the tea leaves are coming out bad, if I remember correctly. Are you sure it isn't a problem with the machine? Are you sure you haven't forgotten how to operate it? What a thing to say. How could we dare to be careless with you looking over our shoulders? How could you indeed? Ah, it's Grandpa Lou. Jin, get back to work. And this respectable-looking young miss is... I'm the young lady of the Fey and Karmas Guild. I am but one who comes to the aid of the oppressed in their moment of need. A disciple of the Guhua. Okay. I think this is because Grandpa Lou asked us to pretend to be from the Fey and Karmas Guild. So here's the question. Should we pretend to be from the Fey and Karmas Guild, or should we pretend to be Xingqiu, who is from the Fey and Karmas Guild? I kind of want to see what they'll say. What the heck? And you even proclaim yourself a member of the Guhua clan? Oh, I guess we said both.
Ahem. This is the young lady of the Fey and Karmas Guild. She really likes reading wandering hero novels for fun. And, the landscape of Chenyu Vale is filled with a mysterious mystique. It must have gone to her head. This is my servant. It will suffice to call her Mini Pie.
Paimon, you've become Pie once again.
Yes, that's it. Call me Mini Pie.
Sorry, Paimon. Thank you for rolling with it, Paimon. Oh my god, a Seelie! Ah! I miss how frequent Seelies used to be. In that case, welcome. A guest like you is a rare treat indeed. We have been quite reliant on the assistance of the Commerce Guild for many a year. For as for what's happened this year, I suspect you have already heard about it. What's wrong? You're looking pretty miserable. Did Jin mess up at work again? You... Mocking me again. Ahem, my apologies, dear guests. Normally I would invite guests from afar to sample our new teas, but this year's batch... Well, you know. No tea? Are you seriously going to let me, the young lady? No need to stand on ceremony, Chief Luo. We're here to help.
Yeah, the young lady is very concerned about the tea leaves, so there's no need to be so tied up with formalities, Chief Luo.
Very well then. To tell the truth, this batch of tea leaves is no good either. They can't be dried, and I can't tell if they were bad when they were picked, or if it's a problem with the machine in our workshop. How's that difficult? Why not just use some of the older leaves when you have in stock, and see if the product you get from drying them is any different? If the product is normal, then you'll know it isn't a problem with the machine. Oh, that's a good idea. Seriously, I've told you before. Forget it. As we have important guests present, then we'll give your method a try. Jin, do we have any fresh tea leaves remaining from older batches? There's some in the warehouses. What's up? What's up? What's up? How, good one. We've been talking here for a good long while now, and you weren't listening to a single word, were you? Go fetch some of the older batches, and process it along with some of the newer stuff that Grandpa Lou brought using the machine. Don't you dare skip a single step, I'll be watching you. After a bit, Jin brings back 2 batches of freshly dried tea. How about this? I see our 2 guests are quite young. They might prefer snacks to tea tasting. Why not turn these 2 batches into tea cakes? The quality of each will be evident with a single taste. What do you think, old Luo? Agreed, we'll do just that. Jin, listen up. Take these 2 batches of tea leaves and make them into 2 different tea cakes. 1 cake from each batch. Don't you dare even get a single leaf mixed up. Yes, sir, Uncle Luo. You want me to mix them all into 1 cake? I think he's so hard on Jin that Jin is just messing with him in return. He's getting his revenge in any way he can. I can't even. In any way he can without actually messing things up for the family, you know? Ooh, carp energy. Sorry for the long wait. We've got both tea cakes here. Let's try them one at a time, shall we? Well, how's the taste?
The first one tasted a bit strange, but the second one was delicious.
Huh. You are seriously going to let me, the young lady, eat? I agree. I don't want to make this situation any more tense for Jin, so I'm just gonna go along with it. The tea cakes we made from the tea we had in stock taste fine. Alright, you win. So according to you, the tea processing machinery is fine. In other words, the problem is with the tea itself. New batch of tea, it's just not as good as before. So, the water and soil. But perhaps it's the cauldron that's the problem. It's old and in disrepair, which must have offended the Adeptus, causing the tea to deteriorate. No, it's the soil and the water. It's the elements that nourish the soil. Enough! Let's get that technician in charge of the tea cauldron in here first. It's that Fontanian, the one from the Fontaine Research Institute. Hot? What was it again? Name's such a pain to pronounce. Jin, go get her, would... Jin? Just where did that lazy loafer abscond to this time? That brainless nitwit. I was going to have him go to Elong Wharf and search for our technician. That's hilarious, because we actually saw him walking away earlier, didn't we?
Would you specifically need someone from Fontaine to fix it?
Or I'm an honorary senior researcher from the Fontaine Research Institute. Ooh. I want to know the answers to all of these. Do we get to do all of them? Let's try the first one first. Well, whether in Liyue or Fontaine, most things powered by elemental energy work on more or less the same principles, yeah? If a Fontainian engineer can fix it, then so can our thaumaturges. It just so happens that this Miss Oatmoon Tanyi likes to travel around Liyue, passes through here every so often, and loves to offer her services. So as for this round of tea cauldron maintenance, well, let's leave it to her. So you see, honored guests. Oh, I'm really sorry, but I need to trouble you to go to Elong Wharf and find our technician, Miss Oatmoon Tanyi. It's more likely than not she's found herself a show there that she can't tear her eyes off. How could you possibly dare to ask our guest to do such a thing? Old Luo, you misunderstand me. Our honored guest already had business to attend to at Elong Wharf, and it would just be passing along a message on their way. It's nothing, really. Kind of cracks me up how Grandpa Lu is calling this guy Old Luo. But I guess it's because he's the uncle in the chain of generations. Is that so?
Is that so?
It would seem to be so. I'm truly sorry. Then if you would, honored guests, Old Lu, I'll leave it to you to accompany them. I do love when the Traveler and Paimon just sort of roll with it. We're very good at acting undercover. Yeah, thanks for all your hard work. You scared old Lua so much he was jumping at his old shadow. You mentioned earlier that you're here to investigate the water and soil, right? Best you head on over to Elong Wharf, then. It isn't far from the headwaters, and there are ruins left by the Adepti along the way. So if you're looking for clues, there's your best bet. As for passing a message to Oatmoon Tanyi, well, please lend a hand, would you? Give old Luo some peace of mind, so he doesn't worry himself to death. For the young lady, 'tis but a trifling matter.
Hey, why are you still acting? The show's over. And Paimon just realized, what's with mini pie anyway? Anyway, just leave it to us. You can rest easy, Grandpa Lu.
Such great kids you are, really great kids. Oh, right. I noticed that you two really enjoyed the tea cake. Why don't I teach you the recipe? Next time you come by some quality tea leaves, you'll be able to make some for yourselves. In any case, safe travels. Be careful on mountain paths, and mind you don't slip. Oh my gosh, are we going to get a recipe out of that? Wow! Oh, cool. I love getting recipes out of quests. Okay, the carp energy is speaking to us. There it is. Let's get that before we leave. Yeah, the memory's starting to come back to me. I think all that we've done in this area is mostly Lanternite related. We made it to Ilong Wharf because Gaming's family is from there. And we snuck around avoiding his relatives. I adore Gaming. He had such a good story. Up here. And yeah, so this Lanternite would have been right after Fontaine was released. That means this was the first Lanternite I participated in, right? Yeah, this was Gaming's Lanternite. So this isn't even the Lanternite before the one that just happened. This is the one before the one that just happened. Oh my god. Because this would have been my first Lanternite. Oh, this is a teleport spot, isn't it? What is that manor? Chunming Tea Works. Interesting. Because this was my first Lanternite with Gaming. My second was with Hu Tao, and the third is the one that we're going to do next-ish. With Zibai. Ooh. I love the design of Chenyu Vale. It's just so different. And so beautiful. I love this mist. Wow. And we can collect all the stuff we see. Oh my god, no way! I haven't seen one of these in years. Wow! Do you think we can do this with Citlali? We can certainly try if I do say so myself. Where are you going, that way? Ha 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 ha! Success!
Go on, take them.
Oh, a twin
I'll thank the
nephrite.
stars for you later.
Huh, a golden carp. Also, this is Leeway, so we might get some more, what is it, white tassels? Ooh. What the heck? Yeah, that sure is a golden carp. Oh. Follow the carp, okay. Does Fujin want to speak with us again? That is her name, right? Is that how you say it? Oh, it's leaving behind carp energy for us. Naturally, naturally. Bye! I love how its tail looks like it's made of leaves. Is it perhaps a carp that's very, ooh, connected with the environment? Ooh, 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 wait. Do you want me to fight those guys? I will fight those guys for you. Darn it, I was gonna switch my party! I was gonna show you the wonders of my Hexen Circle. Rude! I'm so far away from you. Leave me alone. Wow, that guy is determined. Let's see if we can move a little bit more. We probably... Ooh. Let's go fight these guys. And then we'll make our way back up the mountain, because these guys will be very fun to fight with our pyro team.
Get to work.
And then I will show you the wonders of Hexen Circle Lunar Crystallize. Transfixed. Indeed, fixed in place. We have been frozen. Gosh darn.
This is where
You're the wrong character. Okay, let's get off of this water. Let's go over here. Is it raining on top of everything? That's hilarious. I want to do this, and then a little bit of this, and see if I can get my charge attack. I can. To Arlecchino.
Laid bare.
Nice. Okay, there we go. We got frozen again. But at least our enemies are gone.
Something with which to commemorate this occasion.
Look at the rain. I swear this rain is raining differently than the rain in other areas. You know how, naturally Nodcry has the special rain. Where's Rocks Fall? Here it is. But I think this rain is raining harder. Doesn't it seem like it? Are you a puzzle chest? Yes, you are. One of these guys. Oh, that's kind of cool, though. I do need to remind myself of how the mechanics in this area are going to work. Venti.
Here we go.
But I think those incense burner puzzles I remember. You basically just need to pull the energy through the incense burners. Alrighty, let's see how we can do. How deep is this water? Very deep. Alright, let's get out of it as quickly as we can. That'll help with our lunar crystallize.
Gather.
Brace yourself.
Look at it, look at the flowers! Ah, I'm so happy. And I noticed something very cool with Venti. It seems overkill to do it, but we will do it.
Time for takeoff.
Look at this. Look at his normal attacks. Look at that. Look at that. Oh my god. I remember thinking it was going to be something like Sethos. But it's not quite. It's just... Ah, and it's already gone. Seeing that, I very much think that we were successful in our mission of catching the attention and the support of a certain someone. That is so cool. I wonder what... Oh, I see. I was going to try to walk on the water by doing this. Okay. Oh, darn. Okay. Well, I think it's fine. I don't need to stand there in order to place it down. But yeah, Venti's attacks. I'm obsessed. They're so beautiful. There we go. Oh, and there's the carp. And the details are just fantastic. Oh my god, there she is! I love her design too. They look so cool. Okay, I have no memory of what voice I gave her 2 years ago, so just a standard voice, I guess. Vega, Paimon, you two are indeed brilliant, as expected. Upon seeing my dissipated adeptal energy, you immediately understood the situation.
Of course! We're super duper experienced adventurers, you know. Still, why didn't you say anything sooner? You didn't just forget, did you?
Did she?
Ahem. About that. Should not the path of the Adepti be full of challenges? 'Tis merely a test of your wisdom.
Call me a master test taker. It was you who brought us here.
Speaking of which, just what's the problem with the soil and water you mentioned before? Grandpa Lou was also sure that this was behind the deteriorating quality of the tea leaves.
Yes, you too have seen Chaoying Village. Should the quality and quantity of tea leaves continue to decline, so will the village. Until finally, in the years to come, it degenerates back into what it was a millennia before. A desolate mountain forest. You sure that isn't hyperbole? Or, I understand what you mean. I mean, yeah, if the whole village depends on the export of tea leaves, and the tea leaves are noticeably bad at the moment, that could decimate the economy. So yeah, I understand what you mean. If the people leave, and then give it a few decades or centuries, the whole place will be ruined.
That's kinda hard to wrap your brain around. Can bad tea really destroy Chaoying Village?
It is true. The Lord of Geo would not stand idly by as disaster befell. Were the sky to collapse, the Conqueror of Demons and other Adepti would do their utmost to support it. Should the waters under Elong Wharf breach the dikes and flood, Larua Harbor would aid the villagers. But without tea, this stretch of mountains would, or Chaoying Village rather, would lose its very reason to exist in human eyes.
That makes sense. When you put it like that, Paimon understands.
So, are you two willing to help me correct the imbalance in the water and soil? What do you say, Mini Pie? Very well. Yeah, what do you say, Mini Pie?
Who the heck is Mini Pie? Never heard the name before. Huh. But Paimon wants to help Adeptus Fujin in Chaoying Village. When she thinks about such delicious tea cakes being lost forever just because there's no good tea, it would be a big shame, wouldn't it?
Yes, that's excellent. Your willingness is commendable, and one is quite grateful to you both. Yeah, she does this, doesn't she? She talks like an Adeptus until she forgets to talk like an Adeptus. Is she not even an Adeptus? Or is she just the most chill Adeptus in the world? Now, back to business. When it comes to how to resolve disharmony in the soil and water, one is indeed well aware of what to do. First, you two must go up against the currents and seek the jade treasures thrown into the waters. In the end, we must perform the ancient rain jade rite once more, dispelling the miasma that has settled over the mountains and fields and into the rivers, and restoring the water veins and soil.
Okay, got it. But, just how do we do the ritual?
Do you remember?
Adeptus Fujin, what's wrong?
Oh, nothing. As for the ritual, it's still a bit early for that. Well then, we'll see each other later. The way she looked away, she looked so serious. Does the ritual involve sacrificing yourself? Does it? Oh.
And she's gone. According to her, we need to go against the current. That just means upstream, right? Hey, that's the same direction as Elong Wharf. Let's go.
Perfect. All roads lead to Elong. Oh my god, we're being spied upon. What are you? That's not one of the enemies around here, is it?
A reward on the road.
If it is, that's a very fancy one. Look, there it is! Oh, we're kind of getting closer. Here's the ruins I think they talked about, the Adeptal ruins. Maybe. Maybe there's more. Carp! When in doubt, become a carp. Just in case. Oh, there's a teleporter. Well, we've already gotten it. Let's just kind of fly out to get a view of the land. Ooh, I love that. Oh, there's so many treasure hoarders. I want to fight them, but I specifically want to fight them with lunar crystal eyes. I don't need to fight them to proceed, do I? Where is Elong Wharf? It's up the road. What's this? Come back here. Okay, fine. Since I have a star that says come back here, we will go over there. On our way to the city. Oh! Nope. I want to fight them. I want to fight them so badly. I want to fight them. Oh my god! The enemies in this area are so persistent. Is this where the fishing helitrail is? Oh my god, my best bud! Hey, buddy! You know what would be really nice? If we could sit down next to them. Aw. I wish. One thing I noticed that's interesting about helitrails is on the pyro guys. Oh. Oh dear. They have, really interesting symbols on their backs. Kind of looks like wings, maybe? Oh, look at that slime. Why am I coming back here? Look at the squirrels! At least we're still on the main path to the wharf. Is it a... get a treasure chest thing? Ooh, there's a lot of ores, which I do like. If we were out of combat, I could use my compass and see. Ah, perfect. Okay, doesn't seem to be a chest, and that is my chest symbol. I think it was a puzzle that I hadn't completed, but I have since completed it. I'll double check on it later, but for now, we proceed! Let's see, let's see. Is it tea leaves? Nope, it's radishes. It's wheat. It's iron. We can make a soup complete with a cooking pot. With those ingredients. Look at all the sparkles. Let's leave the pine cones for the squirrels. Let us steal not from the little ones. Man, this used to be one of my major ore collection spots. I eventually took it out of my main rotation just because it was kind of annoying. Ooh. To try to jump down from the cliff every time. And I kept missing the spot. Because there's a tree right above it, so you can't see where you're going. Are we on that level? I think we are, because it's always right next to the path. There it is! The wharf with the water elevator and the lady down there who collects dead fish, and she always yells because you can't hear anything over the waterfall. Look at this! These are my ores that I would collect. If only I was in my geocrystallized team, I could collect them. The person? Are you... Ooh. From Sumeru. I'm looking for somebody from Fontaine, aren't I? That way? Okay. I'm sure there's chests everywhere. Let's just go back to this one. The point of today is not to hunt the chests, but to hunt the people! The people we need to talk to. Whee! I love the sound of the waterfall. You can tell that water... Ooh!
Well, and here we are. Elong Wharf.
Let's... something. Indeed. That's something. Oh, right, they said she'd probably be watching a show. There she is. Let's see the blonde hair. Though I don't understand it in the least, I still think it's amazing. Just watching her stand there singing, or sing while walking around, or sing while sitting, and then sing while she lifts her hand and slowly lets it fall, all the while ceaselessly singing. I really don't know just what kind of magical powers the old lady has. Babbling, chanting, singing, and reciting and crying. I haven't got a clue what she's saying, but it's amazing. Little Mao, can you understand? Whoa! Look at you! Is this face paint? Or are you an Adeptus? That looks like the symbol above the, They're not called Simulanka. They're called something... Simu something. Those little statues that have the challenges. Oh, simulacrums, aren't they? Simulacrums? Simulacrums. Doesn't it look like the symbol that's usually floating over them in red? I forgot to read the line. Oh my god. Yeah, it's great. It's just a shame that I don't understand a thing. Wait, no, that's the one we're on. Haha, that's just how opera singing is, and weren't there fight scenes later? There was that old dude who could do 88 flips into tricks. Riveting stuff. And then we're on... Yeah, it's great. It's just a shame that I don't understand a thing. A whole bunch of people fighting and jumping all over the place, all super flashy and such. One-on-one, several all fighting each other, 5 or 6 taking turns. It's just almost addictive.
Hello, we're looking for a technician from Fontaine. Chief Lua and Grandpa Lu said... what name did they give us again?
Oatmoon Tanye. Yep, sounds like Grandpa Lu sent you alright. Just call me... Oatmoon Tong? Wait, how did he say it? Oatmoon Tanye. So, Oatmoon Tagni? Agni? Cool. What a name. I'm a researcher from the Fontaine Research Institute. Haha, I'm the young lady of the Fey and Commerce Guild. I am but one who comes to the aid of the oppressed in their moment of need, a disciple of the Guhua. Or what? I'll have you know that I'm an honorary senior researcher. I cannot believe they brought back the same dialogue options. That's fantastic. But I would love to see her reaction to our honorary senior researcher term.
Seriously? Is this really the moment to be comparing? Anyway, she is Vega, and Paimon's Paimon. It was Grandpa Lu who sent us looking for you.
So you're colleagues from the Institute. Excellent. Looks like you guys couldn't stand that hopeless wreck of an organization either.
Miss Vega, Miss Paimon, hello. I'm Little Mao, a friend of Mountain's.
Is that what you call her? That's adorable. Yes, that's what my name means. Haute Montagne can be a little hard to pronounce, so I asked Little Mao to just call me that.
Really? Quite the interesting pair. How did you two meet?
It was quite fortuitous. Last year, I went to the mountains in the south for a spell, and got lost in the fog. A huge beast the size of a Calatenlouis was glaring at me. And I thought I was done for. But just then... Oh my god, are you an Adeptus? A little kid suddenly shouted at me. I followed the sound through the mist and got out and was saved. Otherwise, I would have been eaten, just like that. And my family in Fontaine wouldn't even have been able to claim compensation on my account. Could he be the creature that was just looking at us from a distance? That creature was mostly blue with some red, like, whiskers or something, right? He's blue and he's got a little bit of red or orange going on here.
I know more about what goes on in the mountains than the grown-ups. Is that so? You're amazing, Little Mao.
Haute Montagne, Grandpa Lu and Chief Lua are looking for you. We're here about the tea cauldron in Chaoying Village.
Alright, I got it. I'll be there in a jiffy.
All the sights here are just too good. I ended up watching several, one right after the other, and now my legs have fallen asleep. But I just can't understand a word. What sorts of stories are they telling?
It's about how, way back when, a huge carp and a monster from the mountains fought. A you kill me, I kill you story. In the end, everyone dies.
Oh, is that the history of this quest we're kind of working on? A huge carp and a monster. So if the soil has been tainted, maybe it's something like the monster is coming back, reforming after all this time, and Fujin might be the carp who was involved way back when, and so her duty is to once again fight it, and our task right now is either to weaken it before that fight occurs, and or to boost her power before that fight occurs. I could definitely see if she's been protecting this place all these years, maybe her power has waned. That might be why she looks so serious. She knows she needs to fight this thing, and she knows she won't be able to defeat it. Especially because in the original story, everyone dies, apparently. I hope Vega or Paimon asks her about that story. Or mentions it in her presence, you know? That's a pretty concise summary. But don't talk about killing and dying so much, little Mao. If you think about that kind of stuff too often, you might become the villain when you grow up. Oh my god, is he the monster? Is that the foreshadowing here? Fujin's the carp, he's the monster? I mean, that would be kind of cool. But I kind of hope not. Since those in Chaoying Village are waiting on me, it's time to go. See you all later.
Let's go watch the shows here again when you're about to head back to Fontaine.
If he is the monster, I feel like it's one of those situations where they're all bound by the story and they're all bound by fate. Maybe he doesn't want to be the monster. Maybe he doesn't even know that he's the monster. But he's going to become it when the time is right, kind of thing.
Okay, now that we've solved the puzzle, we can get back to business. Little Mao, how about you? What are you two going to do? Huh? To be honest, we're not quite sure how to explain it. The water and soil in Chenyu Vale are kinda out of whack, and we need to cure them for everything in Chenyu Vale to get better. I get it. Miss Paimon is trying to say that we need to restore nature? Hey, that's right! You're really amazing, little Mao. You got it right away.
Restoring nature, you say? Did someone talk to you about that?
That's right. A friend who's always taking care of me told me. She wants to restore nature too. If we restore nature, everything will get better. So I want to help too. She also told me about you two.
Is this the monster? And since he's become a child, Fujin has been taking care of him this whole time? Even though she knows that one day he will be forced by fate to become a monster again? How poetic, how perfectly Genshin. I kind of hope that's the answer, and also I kind of hope not, because it's so tragic.
Oh, so you've seen her too? Huh? You mean my friend? Of course. Silly Miss Paimon, how could we be friends if I'd never seen her? Fair point. That actually makes things easier. Actually, we want to... Paimon remembers we need to find the jade treasures in the water, and then do some rain jade right. But even though we've come upstream, we still haven't found any clues. Ah, I know. Come with me. I'll show you where to look. What? Is it really that easy?
Little Mao, your friend wants you to restore nature, right? Or wants to restore nature, that is.
Yeah, she's told me a lot. Such as stories from before Chaoying Village became Chaoying Village, how the tea trees came to be, and more. She said that things will get worse and worse in Chenyu Vale if the natural order isn't restored. Oh, looks like we're on the same page then. Little Mao, you just said you knew where we could find leads, right? Yeah. I don't know if it'll help, but when you mentioned jade treasures and rain jade and stuff, I just thought of it. Come with me. Yeah, let's go.
I feel like my Paimon voice is really off today. As always, I'm going to blame the heat. Oh, it's so hot. Okay, we're leaving again. Guess we are indeed done here. Now, this village, I have been around quite a bit, because this is where we were for Lantern Rite. So if there's any carp energy here, I think we've already gotten it. Or at least we've gotten most of it, hopefully. Seriously, I feel like when... Ooh, that's cool. Usually, when they have these places that are additional expansions of an area, they usually put something there that you can level. You know, like the tree in Dragonspine, or the onion tree in Sumeru. So in this case, I would assume that the carp energy is for something like that. Oh my god! Oh my god! We honestly found a chest!
Is this an answer from this world?
Yay. Which reminds me of characters to pull. Yeah, at the moment, still the only person I'm saving for is Flint. But then we're going into Shania, and there's new characters, and they're going to be Cryo. That's my assumption. Anyways, that's all I wanted to say about that. So, what in Chenyu Vale could this carp energy be for? Oh, you know, it's probably in the area I haven't unlocked. See, my concern is, if there's nothing for me to level, then I probably need all the energy for the world quest. Which is concerning, because there's a lot of it, and I don't have it all collected. And I want to finish this world quest. But maybe there is something I can level in that other area. That's my hope. Oh my god, he's saying there's a cavern behind the waterfall. Oh my god, I'm so happy. All my dreams were coming true. Oh, he says... I'm sorry. Paimon says use the adeptal energy to get through. Ha 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 ha! Oh, this thing. Oh, there we go. Oh. Yeah, they really don't want us just walking through water, do they? They want to make a doorway. Oh my god! Oh my god! Underground area! I'm so happy. Finally. Is this the second time we've seen something hidden behind a waterfall in this game? Oh my god, he's on the field. Every single time there's a waterfall, I want something to be hidden behind it. And every single time there's a waterfall, there isn't. The only place there was one was, the resort island in Natlan. Ooh.
What huge claw marks and paw prints. Like some huge wild beast left them behind. Yeah, huge, right?
Little Mao, little Mao. Is it you?
A reward on the road.
This is my secret base, he says.
You still camp here? You're incredible, but you still need to stay safe. It's fine. My friend will protect me.
The music in here is really cool. What nice waterfalls. Ooh, is that a mural? This is it. It's the clue I wanted to show you before, right here.
What on Devat is that? It's so covered in moss that Paimon can't make heads or tails of it.
So we've got a river, we've got mountains, we've got 3 people. More mountains. This is Chenyu Vale, it's very green. Something's up here. Wind? Storms? Clouds or some sort of path in the sky? Eh?
There wasn't any moss the last time I came here.
Oh my god, how long has it been, little Mao? Have you been asleep for centuries?
No need to worry, little Mao. It's so humid in here that
It's no wonder there's moss growing everywhere.
there must be a way to clear it away.
Clean the mural. Oh, using carp energy. Truly adept at many things. Oh, there's more people.
Look, Vega, look! It's a scene of ancient people attending a festival and performing a ritual. Pretty different from the festivals we have today, huh?
This must be the ritual, so this might be how to do it. We need that thing. Bring it up there. And is that meant to be the moon? Oh my god, is that meant to be an eclipse? That would be cool. Or an eye. Very much looks like an eye to me.
Although the grown-ups in the city and the village all say that the Lord of Geo was the first to arrive in Chenyu Vale, I've heard that the people in the picture actually got here even earlier than he did. People back then used to throw bits of magic jade into the river, and they'd float along until they sank to the bottom. They saw it as a way to guarantee good weather, prevent the river from flooding, and ensure that the soil would be fertile. Based on what we previously discussed, I'm guessing that Chenyu Vale will only be fixed after we found some jade that was thrown into the river in ancient times. That makes sense, doesn't it?
It does, I guess. But what doesn't is your vocabulary. You sound not like a child, my friend. How old are you? Are you the beast of the ancient times?
Wow, you're so knowledgeable. Was your friend also the one who told you these stories?
You rule, little Mao. That's first-class guide material right there. These legends are fascinating. Ooh. We're going to issue a challenge to Paimon.
Huh. Little Mao's a local, so of course he understands this place better than Paimon.
Yep, and everyone will be really blessed and live happily ever after and all that. But I much prefer hearing her stories about ancient wars and battles. She told me that the warriors back then were all giants who were over 10 feet tall. The warriors of Chenyu Vale were covered in tattoos, and they had these massive jade axes that could chop a person in half in the blink of an eye. And the Millelith, led by none other than the Lord of Geo himself, were even tougher. They clad themselves in suits of armor that weighed over 1,000 pounds and fought with 100-pound spears. Apparently, everyone was at war back then, so much so that the Bishui River turned crimson red. Later on,
The mountains to the south became full of ghosts from that era. Even now, those who wander through the mountains might still be able to catch their singing on the wind. Ugh.
Yikes, scary stuff. Cover your ears, Mini Pie. I don't think these stories are meant for kids.
Yeah, it sounds terrifying. What Montagni's right, you shouldn't dwell on this stuff all the time. There's no way grown-ups would tell us these stories. They always say we're too young to hear them, that they'll turn us rotten and stuff like that. But I'm old enough already. Sharing a story's not going to turn me into a monster. Oh my god, he's totally the monster. Besides, there aren't many adults still around who know these stories anyway. If my friend hadn't told me, I wouldn't even have known the stories about this picture. Okay. Fine then. Guess we'll move on.
There is a chance that his friend is not, in fact, Ujin. His friend could be the monster.
So, the grown-ups were right to say that those ancient people threw the jade into the river from somewhere high up. But where exactly? And where did all the jade float off to?
I guess if we follow the current, we can probably find it.
Well, it must have sunk to the bottom, right? It's not that simple. If it was thrown into somewhere upriver, and even if it sank to the bottom, it would still be pushed downriver by the current. Let alone after so many years.
Is it this stuff? Is that where it went? Oh look, there's a puzzle here.
Besides, I've never heard talk of any ancient ritual jade being found upriver. Chenyu Vale is a small place after all. If there had been such rumors, everyone would already know about them. You know so much. You're a future scholar material for sure. But what if I don't want to be a scholar? They don't earn much mora, and it sounds like no fun. Then become a traveler, just like us. What could be more fun than adventuring around the world?
Aw, did you see her smile? I'm glad that Paimon enjoys our travels so much.
Seeing as we now know the side of the rain jade right, what should we do next?
Why don't we go somewhere high up to take a look? Let's observe how the river flows.
If we want to see how the river flows, maybe it would be a good idea to try the tall watchtower over at Elong Wharf? You're a clever one, Miss Paimon. Of course.
Okay, let's head out. I want to take another look around. I saw puzzles over there.
Okay, let me know when you're ready.
I saw puzzles. And we'll track to him just so we don't lose him. And we saw the little guy in the river. Hey, buddy. Once again, I am in need of my geocrystallized team. Could I maybe rudely push you onto one of these? I'm so sorry. That was so rude of me. And the answer is, I think no. I hate mining these ores because you have to beat up these turtles. They're immortal, of course, so it's okay. They don't die, but still. It's the thought that counts. The thought of, actually, I don't want to beat up a turtle.
Solidify!
And we get the ores for our troubles as well. Oh my god! No! Let him rest. Chest up there. Oh, you know what I probably need to do? Try that. I hope that works. I actually don't know if Albedo's flower... Oh, it seems like it does. Wonderful, wonderful. Get over there before it goes away.
If this treasure could talk.
Okay. What do you think? Anything else hidden in here? Nope. Alrighty. Let's talk to our new good friend. And we'll switch back the party. It still really bothers me whenever I'm talking to NPCs if I'm not the traveler. And I know that the traveler will, like, spawn in, but it just bothers me. Shall we go? Aye. Let's go.
Alright then.
Maybe Paimon's voice is so weird today because the kid stole it.
Look, from up here, you can clearly see how the water moves faster through those narrows, then slows down again as the river widens out. The jade must have stopped there. We should find what we're looking for there. Wow, you're such a real whiz kid. Paimon's been wondering, though. What's that massive thing in the distance?
This thing. You don't suppose that was the object we just saw in that picture, though? If it is, it's huge. How are we supposed to pick that up?
That huge thing is the Jade Mouth, a legendary jade ring that an Adeptus threw into the water.
And why did she do that?
Oh, but the river curves around there, so the current should actually speed up.
But the river gradually gets wider there.
Yeah, so the rapid flow around the bend might have resulted in things being deposited along the convex bank where it widens. So there's actually a good chance that the jade is at the bottom of the river somewhere around Jade Mouth. Of course, that's assuming that the course of the river hasn't been artificially altered.
How do you know all this? How do you know all this?
Not to mention, there's a fisherman's legend that goes something like, "Jade shall rise from the sunken mouth," or something like that. Anyway, let's go over and take a look first.
On the other hand, if we want to give him a benefit of the doubt, maybe he's meant to be a red herring. Maybe he learned this from Hot Montagna. Because this sounds like research that the Fontaine Research Institute, for instance, would be aware of. You know, how rivers deposit sediment over time. And the riverbed gets changed. So I could see her teaching him that. And then as she teaches him things, he becomes interested in learning things. And so he starts learning things of his own accord, such as fishermen's legends from the local area. Or something like that.
Compared to Little Mao, Paimon feels like she's completely out of her depth. It's because my friend is amazing. She knows everything there is to know about the mountains, and she's taught me loads too. That's how I've learned so much.
Oh, that makes a lot of sense too, especially if it's Fujin, the adeptus of this area. She probably understands very well how the river behaves. Sorry, Paimon, you just need better friends. You are unfit for duty, Mini Pie. As the young lady, I am most disappointed. Don't worry too much about it, Paimon. Oh no, I don't want to be mean to Paimon. The second one hurts me, in my heart. We're going with the first one.
That's not what I meant. I mean, you unblocked the cave and got rid of that moss in a flash after all. And I have no idea how you even did that.
I'm just kidding. Don't overthink it.
Whatever the case, let's go down and get on a bamboo raft. Oh yeah! Jade Mouth, here we come!
I want a jade raft. That sounds like fun. And the weather here is so beautiful. I bet it's perfect out on the water. Hello. Oh! I was wondering where the elevator was. I didn't realize I was standing inside of it. We shall take the jade, or I'm sorry, the elevator. Like responsible chaperones of this tiny child we've picked up, monster or not. Instead of jumping off the cliff. We will take the elevator so he doesn't pick up any bad habits. Whoa, tea cakes? Breakfast? Oh my god, I'm so hungry actually. Can I buy stuff from you? What do you have? Do you have recipes? You do. Let's get the recipes. Can I do this? No, I can't. Okay. I don't know what they do, but they're mine now. Thank you. Bye. We actually should stop by a cooking pot because we picked up a couple recipes. Can I borrow this? Thank you. So, tea eggs. Revival food. Nice. Chenyu brew. And is this the base recipe for Xianyun's specialty? I think it might be. I recognize the teapot from somewhere. Tea smoked squab. HP restore. I love how they all use the tea leaves from Chenyu Vale. That explains why there's so many of them all over this place. Stamina restoring! I love stamina restoring foods! Where'd it go? Here it is. Oh, how beautiful. And last but not least, find tea full moon! Oh, that's the one that we got from Grandpa Lou. Oh, it's this thing! Oh my god, that looks delicious. I really need to stop playing this game when I'm hungry. I think it's the other way around. I think playing this game makes me hungry. There is no escape. Person over there. Hi, person. Oh, look, that bamboo raft. Guess we've got a boat we can take now. Excuse me. Investigate over there. May we board your raft? Someone coming aboard? Wait, is that little Mao? Come, come, I'll take you. Oh good, the people of the village actually know of his existence. He is a real boy.
Alright, Boatman, take us to the Jade Mouth.
Alright, Jade Mouth it is. The other two, you're tourists? Well, if you're here for sightseeing, there's not many locals who head that way.
You could say that. Mr. Boatman, are there any stories about the Jade Mouth that I haven't heard before?
Knowing you and how much you love your stories, kiddo, you must have heard them all by now.
Tell me more! Tell me more!
Alright then. Well, I've heard it mentioned that the Jade Mouth was left behind by Rex Lapis when he marched through here to save the people of Chenyu Vale. Legend has it that to prevent a naval advance from downstream, the local adepti...
You are making it up as you go again, Gramps. There's no way that Liyue's navy came up this river. I've heard that the Jade Mouth was formed by a piece of jade left behind by a giant carp. In those days, a baddie god tried to redirect the river to drown the millelith stationed on both of the banks in Chenyu Vale. A giant white snake and a giant carp who were her subordinates disobeyed her orders. The giant white snake did something, and the carp threw the jade she wore here. The jades pinned the river down, and ever since we've had no more floods. And everyone can live peaceful lives on both sides of the river.
I love how he knows the stories better than this guy even. Haha, you might understand a lot, kiddo, but you haven't seen much. Take a closer look. See, after it was pinned down by the jades, it's true that the river hasn't flooded. But that's also meant it hasn't been able to provide irrigation for crops. So what was once a wide, gently flowing river is today a narrow, ferocious one or something. Such a river leaves no sustenance for the earth on its banks. And of course, that also means no people living peaceful lives on both its sides.
Paimon gets it now. But did you just say that the Adepti were resisting the Lord of Geo, little Mao? That's how it was all that time ago. Some people believe that the first Lord of all Liyue was Rex Lapis. But in Chenyu Vale, we believe that before he came, there were other gods and Adepti who protected our ancestors. I've heard Grandpa Lou say that the tea ceremony is actually for the Carpedectus who planted our first tea tree. Oh, but aren't these Adepti meant to be the baddies? They were serving under a baddie god after all. In some stories they are the baddies, while in others they're the goodies. But it was all such a long, long time ago. Even the grown-ups don't remember much. They always try to bluff me.
Talking about that friend of yours again. How can such supernatural beings be held to our simple codes of right and wrong? As far as we're concerned, all the forces that have ever blessed and protected this land deserve our offerings.
Ah, there you go again.
Alright then, time to get off. We're here. Look at how beautiful that jade is.
Thanks, Gramps!
Okay. As the river breeze blows, we're here. So that was interesting. That was very interesting. It was also very fast-paced, so let's review. It was something like... Paimon's talking about how huge the jade is. And so she's saying, okay. Adepti come in all shapes and sizes. They could be as tall as the clouds or small enough to hide amidst pool and to leave. Anyway, you get the picture. To sum it up, Adepti rule. Okay. So, according to Little Mao, who probably heard it from Fujin, whom I'm assuming is the source herself. In Chenyu Vale, before the influence of Rex Lapis reached it, there were other gods protecting this place. I fully believe that. You know, there were gods around before the Archon War, and they could have been protecting this place. So maybe the whole idea of them being baddie gods is just because when the Archon War erupted and Rex Lapis, you know, took control of all of Liyue, they resisted his control here in Chenyu Vale, would be my guess. And so from the perspective of Liyue today, they were considered baddie gods. Now, were they actually cruel to their people, or did they have good intentions but bad consequences? I don't know. But it is also possible that history was just written by the victors, and so they're called baddie gods because they were resisting Rex Lapis. So, who was it though? There was a snake, and there was a carp. And the carp was the snake's subordinate? Or the carp and the snake were both subordinates of someone else? Oh, Oh. I think the carp and the snake were adepti. And they were subordinates of the god. Whoever that was. But then it seems like as Rexlafis advanced, they switched sides and helped him defeat the local god, maybe? Potentially, you know, to save their own skins. Or maybe that does indicate that the local god was causing more harm to their people than good, or would cause more harm to their people than good, for some reason. So that seems to be that part of the story. The other part of the story that we learned is that this river... Oh, wait, did the kid mention that the river was flooded by the god? And it was endangering the people here? And so then the Carpodeptus threw down the jade to pin it down? That might be why they turned on that god, if that's the case. Because the god was trying to destroy this area, or at least the people living here. That might be what he said. Okay, so... In any case, what I do know for certain, what I was able to catch, is that the river was flooding, and so the jade pinned it down. But, on the other side of that, if the river's not flooding, it's not depositing silt and, you know, minerals. And so that's why Elong War, for instance, is very high up on the cliffs. There's nothing on either side of this river. Because since it's so small, there's a high volume of water. It's very fast-paced. Ooh, more a box. Okay, I think that's everything we learned in that instance there. I'm going to go ahead and assume that the Carpodeptus that was mentioned is probably Fujin. Because she's a fish, and she's all about carps. That would be my guess. And that would explain how she knows that story, too.
Well, here's the jade mouth. But how are we gonna find all that jade underwater? Ah, so that's how it is. The spring's cries ripple through the vales. Oh, that's so pretty. Ripple through the vales, the shrines depart from northeast shores. The heights and shallows in the southwest hide. The sun and earth from each other divide. The eternal whirlpool that never churns. The beautiful jade concealed within. What's that little mouse singing about? It sounds pretty complicated. It's one of our local folk songs. I heard an old granny singing it as she was gathering herbs. It means, if you look out from the center of the river to the banks on either side, you'll see 2 stone shrines hidden to the northeast and the southwest. These shrines keep the mighty whirlpool in the center suppressed. Northeast, southwest, shrines. Okay. Paimon understood the last bit. So, the jade is all hidden beneath the whirlpool?
Oh, that is a gorgeous shot. Look at those little butterflies. It's like in the, Oceanid area. I love those little fireflies we have over there. Oh, look, this is the sort of thing I was talking about. It's the challenge keys. But when they're above the simulacrum, they lose the key part and just become the top part. And it looks so similar to his little pattern here.
Yep, sounds like we're going treasure hunting. Hooray! But the area between the northeast and southwest is so huge. After all, in a broad sense, the northeast and southwest of Jademouth can include pretty much the whole world? You're always thinking outside the box, Miss Paimon. But there's no need to worry. I already have an idea where the shrines will be because, well, my friend told me. Come on, let's roll.
Hold up for a second. I have a question. Does anyone else think that a giant maelstrom suddenly appearing here might not be too great? Yeah, can we undo it once we do it, or are we going to leave a whirlpool in the middle of this river forever?
Oh, yeah. Doesn't that mean that boats will no longer be able to sail in and out of Elong Wharf? Oh, don't worry about that. My friend told me that once we've done what we need to do beneath, the whirlpool will disappear completely. Otherwise, how would all the old boatmen carry on making a living? Wow, so it's not just a smart whirlpool, but a considerate one to boot. Let's get going then.
Huzzah. A benevolent whirlpool god. Okay. Looks like my tracking is very kindly telling me exactly where these shrines are. Don't mind if I do. I want these Mora boxes. I want the Mora. There is a double drop ley line event going on right now. Oh, Oh, hey, look, a thingy. And I am very excited about that. Whenever these roll around, I always cash in, on the Mora ones. Where'd that thing go? Oh, darn it, I can't do it while I'm in the water. And there you are. What do you guys think is the move? Is it more important to do the Mora ley lines, or is it more important to do the... Wow! Jade Elegy of Bishui added to the archive. Bishui, isn't that a river? We're not going to be able to get back up if we just swim. Let's try this. Alas. Let's see if we can be really sneaky about this. Maybe not. Because if she triggers a pyro reaction is when she gets the fancy ability. Oh, okay, so that didn't work. I love how much the sacrificial fragments matches her. Anyhow, what was I trying to say? Oh yeah, do you think it's more... resin useful? Resin efficient. There we go, there's a good phrase. To do the Mora ley lines during the double drop events, or the experience book ley line to the double drop events? Because I feel like I do passively generate the experience books at a reasonable rate. But the Mora, I can just spend so quickly, because everything uses Mora. Not everything uses experience books.
Let's play!
So, I feel like the Mora ones are the way to go.
Think you can get away?
This is going to be so satisfying.
Burst forth.
Ooh. Oh, who dares disturb the tranquility of this place? Turn over all your possessions to quench the fury of the Adeptus. We've been made. These mugs are regular heat pack and Brunos? Dust out and make a clean retreat? I didn't even see them. Okay. Wow, now that is certainly a shrine. How beautiful. Wow, she really was right about you. You're out of the ordinary, or something. I'll keep this close. Excellent! Oh my god, yay! What a beautiful shrine. And 3 incense sticks. Is that because there's 3 of us, or is that just the right amount to do? I wonder. Alrighty. Someone's notes. I wonder if it'll explain the treasure hoarders who were here. The spring's cries ripple through the vales. The shrines depart from the northeast shores. The heights and shallows in the southwest hide. Sun and earth from each other divide. The eternal whirlpool that never turns. We have found the 2 shrines the legend speaks of, and it seems that they, too, are related to our ancestors in the mountains. But the meaning of the folk song mentioned above remains unclear. We don't have a clue what to do here. Maybe we're just running around like headless chickens. Everyone got really worked up when they heard that our comrades evacuating and shipping antiques were already making Big Mora. Who knows how much longer we'll have to stick around here. Oh, so this isn't the treasure hoarders. I see, they were following the tale of the folk song, probably to see if they could find treasure. And I think their comrades doing the antique smuggling are probably the ones on the other side of Chenyu Vale that we helped Yelan investigate once upon a time, during that event when she got her new outfit. That's pretty cool. I love that.
Huh? Look! Is something glowing there between the pearls?
Let us not fly distracted. Where? Between the pearls? What pearls? These pearls? Are you talking about the butterflies, Paimon? You know what? They are kind of all condensed in that one area. On the other side, too. What are you looking at, Paimon? She's just enjoying the view as well. I see a challenge up and to the right. There was a chest down and to the left. There's a puzzle. Any enemies? No, okay. I guess not.
How about we try using adeptal energy, Vega?
Paimon helpfully teaching us how to do puzzles. Just in case we haven't done them before. Must be missing one. It's red because it's not unlocked yet, I'm assuming. Oh, there it is. Oops. Okay. Let's just go over here and hope that they don't time out. Oh, they timed out. It's fine. Because if we collect it here, and then we send it back from over here, it should go through both. There we go. Yay! What a peaceful song.
Well, guess that settles it.
Wow, you're amazing!
Is this
Even
an
my
answer
friend
from this
couldn't do
world?
anything about the shrines.
You got that right.
Paimon is amazing. It is true. Can we climb this thing?
Come on, have a look. All the pearls have lit up.
We can climb this thing. It sounds like a ruin mechanism. It's the same sound effect that they use when you're walking on the giant ruin machines in Sumeru.
Huh. We haven't seen the whirlpool from the song yet. What should we do next? How about giving that adeptal energy of yours a try, Traveler?
When in doubt, use the carb.
You know, we might be able to call the whirlpool forth if you try using that adeptal energy.
Wow. Boop. Oh, not what I meant to do. Go back beneath the jade. Okay. Okay, I just flew over and flew back. Okay, yeah, I think I just flew out of bounds. They want me to use adeptal energy. Oh, okay, there we go. Ooh. Ooh, there was a little bit of divine energy there for a second. Oh, the music, this is so cool. Wow. Is there a whole underground area down there?
Look, look! The whirlpools appeared just like the song said.
Jump into the whirl. Oh, look, there's a teleporter down there. I think that just appeared since we unlocked this. Don't die. Follow the carp.
Wow! And just like the legend says, a golden carp! Huh, it's you again, Adeptus Fujin.
Fujin? Did she never tell you her name, or is your friend truly not Adeptus Fujin? I have my concerns. I do indeed have my concerns. But at least my concerns have led me to a nice chest. Oh! I've been betrayed! No! At least we're in the water, so you're doomed.
Everybody stand back! You two! Time to end! Blazing light!
There we go. Anybody need healing? We're all pretty good.
Is this an answer from this world?
Alrighty. So yeah, is Fujin really not his friend? I mean, who else could it be? The boatman mentioned the kid's friend, so the adults in the village know about this supposed friend of his. But do they know who it
reward on the
is?
road.
Are they all just trusting that it's some other person in the village, and so no one bothered to check to see if this kid was safe talking to that person? Ugh. Where are his parents? Does he not have parents? Is he a monster? Or is he not? I feel like it just makes the most sense if he is himself some sort of creature of legend. I mean, look at his face. Boop. But then again, it could just be face paint. Wow, this place is pretty. Hi, Fujin. Oh my god, does he recognize her? Oh my god, she doesn't recognize him! So who on earth is his friend? I guess maybe his friend is the monster? Or could his friend be the snake? Vega and Paimon, we meet again, and who might this be? Or she could be pretending not to recognize him.
Huh? You haven't met him before? This is Lil Mao. He's helped us so much along the way.
No, we haven't met before. But you must be a good child, little Mao.
Hello. And yes, that's me. Miss, are you an Adeptus? You are, aren't you?
This is Adeptus Fujin. Thanks for all the help you've given Vega and Paimon, little Mao.
It's really the legendary Fujin in the flesh! I can't believe this! I've heard so many stories about you! And now I know that you're not some kind of big slippery carp, but a lady instead! Like a big sister. Big carp? Honestly, what kind of stories have you been listening to, little Mao? Ahem. One is indeed an adeptus, and as such, can take many forms, or can take forms as one pleases. This particular form seemed like the most approachable one for conversing with humans. From what you've said, you have a very unique scent, little Mao. Have you met someone in the mountains before? Someone with golden eyes and a fair complexion, perhaps?
Oh my god, wait. Wait a second.
Not exactly. Big Sis Fujin, you're not talking about one of your other friends, are you? My friend from the mountains doesn't sparkle like you do, but she's really cool. She helped me tons and taught me loads. So it was her after all. So your friend wasn't Adeptus Fujin after all, huh? But Big Sis Fujin's my friend now too, isn't she? Of course, little Mao. I am delighted to have made friends with you. Way to go, little Mao. You've now met 2 Adepti. Or little Mao's met other Adepti? Well, it's naturally, the person he's met is another Adeptus. It has to be. If not an Adeptus, then it's the monster. Some long-lived individual. And if the idea is that the monster is like regaining its strength potentially right now, and that might be what's poisoning the soil, there's a chance that he hasn't met them yet. So, my thought when she asked that question, the golden eyes one, is she talking about the horse Adeptus? In preparation for soon getting back to Lantern Rites, I have reviewed the very first scene of it that I did once upon a time in a stream on the stream channel. And we meet Yao Yao and Chi Chi. And we talk about various things, one of which is the White Horse Adeptus. And we meet the current proprietor of... Wait, I wrote this down. Baiju Guest House, was it? Yes, Baiju Guest House. And apparently the White Horse Adeptus saved the owner's ancestor from falling off a cliff. And then told that ancestor stories. And then when the ancestor returned home, much time had passed, but then it was revealed it was all a dream. So that would be my guess, because in Bamboo Forest, that's where we meet the White Horse Adeptus, right? They help a child, I believe, find their way through the forest. And then helps this person not fall off a cliff. And in both cases, tells them stories, right? And so if little Mao has been told many stories by someone with golden eyes, my instinct would be the White Horse Adeptus. But since we're in Chenyu Vale, maybe we want to keep our characters limited to the Chenyu Vale cast. Could it be the Snake Adeptus? Just another option. We chose, way to go, little Mao. You've now met 2 Adepti, but I've met more. Whoop whoop, go me. I win. Wow, Traveler. Competitive with a child all of a sudden. Huh? What? Don't worry about her. Anyway, does this mean that little Mao's friend is also an Adeptus?
Yeah, who is it?
As for whether little Mao's friend counts as an Adeptus or not, I'm not quite sure myself. After all, Adeptus is merely a title, and it's hard to say whether Adepti are even people. The word Adeptus is just like any other word, such as hero, villain, or idiot. No one is born an Adeptus, and no one shall remain an Adeptus forever.
Really? That's interesting.
That's true. So you've met that friend of little Mao's that we were talking about, right?
Indeed. But it's been a long, long time since last I saw her. So now, I suspect that I don't know her half as well as little Mao does. I'm not even sure if I still count her as a friend. Or if I still count as her friend, that is.
According to what little Mao said,
his friend wants to restore nature. And his friend wants to restore nature too.
I would imagine so.
Anyway, I must ask you all to please take this piece of votive rain jade. I had originally hoped it might remain here, the same as it ever was. But I never expected it to grow quite so large. I used to love it so. Oh my god, it grew? It wasn't always that size? Maybe that's what happened to the jade that's on the river as well.
This rain jade that you mentioned, did it rain down or make it rain or something?
Of course not. After the great changes to our geology, the ancestors of the people of Chenyu Vale lost their ability to communicate with the heavens, and lost the guidance of emissaries, whose beauty was as pure as moonlight. Whoa! Emissaries in Chenyu Vale. They really are an ancient civilization, aren't they? Fascinating. Henceforth, they began to take jade, which glowed as gently as the light of the moon, and cast it into the river. As they did this, they would pray for good omens, for fertile land, for clement weather, and for their riverbanks to hold strong. Over time, these rituals grew in power, until one day... Oh no? Oh no, did something bad happen, or have you forgotten?
Big Sis Fujin, what happens next?
One day... Wait, this is a really nice... Oh! Never mind. I was going to say it's a really nice shot with her and little Mao here. One day, the long war to become the gods who would reign over this world began. Afterward, this tradition lost all of its meaning. But though it was forgotten, its name is still passed down over generations. Wow, so Chenyu Vale predates the Archon War. That's pretty cool, because we've met a lot of ancient civilizations. We visited a lot of ancient cities. But most of them have been destroyed, or have fallen to ruin for various other reasons over time. So the fact that Chenyu Vale still exists, that's really cool. To cut a long story short, this piece of votive rain jade before us was the very last one ever to be thrown. Just as the part above the surface, when commanded by an adeptal art, can be made large enough to stop a flood, its core, too, has been swollen by uncontrolled adeptal energy. Most of its power has dissipated into the surrounding area through the spirit veins. This power may have also affected the nearby flora and fauna, attracting them and even making aberrations of them. You must be careful. So adeptal energy, when left unchecked, can also corrupt things, basically? Making aberrations. This adeptal energy isn't at fault for the miasma, is it? I would have thought the abyss. Or some sort of abyssal monster, you know?
What?
As far as I can tell, the adeptal energy that has dissipated nearby should be sufficient to reawaken the hibernating votive rain jade. If this is the case, we're one step closer to achieving our goal of nursing the water and soil back to health. Ahem. How should I say this? Vega and Paimon, thank you both. You're doing an amazing thing by choosing to help me, you know. And, little Mao, will you help me too? Will you help out your big sis? You're not the monster, are you? That's not the plot twist here, actually, is it? That would be very cool. Of course! I want to restore nature too! Is that so? Well, that's good. You're very smart, little Mao. You'll understand everything later. There's a secret here. You can just feel it there's a secret here. Oh my god. Alright then. Let us go our separate ways for now. Once you've retrieved the adeptal energy-filled votive rain jade, we'll meet again by a deep pool shrouded in cloud and mist to the south.
The south. Got it. Ah! She's gone and disappeared again. Oh well. Let's just do what Big Sis Fujin said and restore this voting rain jade's power. Speaking of which, what's it got to do with voting? I think votive is actually meaning, causing motion, right? So it basically causes things to happen? Or causes things to move? See? See? You're not that much brighter than Paimon. Humph.
It's votive, not voting.
Oh.
Right. It's so complicated.
Though, since you mentioned it, What does votive even mean? And why is it called rain jade again?
Maybe it's called rain jade because it would like rain down into the river. The act of tossing it in, you know?
Exactly! What does it mean?
Our little Paimon and little Mao duo just completely confused. Okay. Oh my god, collect the scattered adeptal energy. Okay. Well, at least it's not the carp energy that's all over this area. I have hope. We can do this. We don't have to complete the entirety of Chenyu Vale to complete this world quest. Amazing! So, let's call it here. This is a gorgeous location. We have our target behind us. And I hope we're making good headway on this quest. I'm really hoping also that this quest will lead us to that one blank spot on the map. Because even if we can unlock it, I want information about it. And I assume that I have to get that through a quest. Hopefully, this is the quest, you know? So, we're making nice progress through Chenyu Vale. We have our task ahead of us. And I am just adoring how gorgeous this place is. Oh my goodness. Beautiful. No notes. I love... Especially because it's an expansion to Larua. When it was released, I think I might have been in Larua. Or I might have been in Inazuma, and I came back to Larua for Lantern Rite. But I wasn't that far ahead of Larua, so I was very familiar with what Larua looked like. And then we came to this area, and it looks so different. Because the budget was so different. 4 years, possibly, after Larua was released, Chenyu Vale was added. So, you can see the improvements they've made in technology, and in the animations, and in the details, and indeed in the budget, since, you know, Genshin Impact has done so well for itself. So, I don't know, it's just a gorgeous place, and I love that you can see how much care was put into it. It's beautiful. No notes, as mentioned, and that will be all for now. Thank you all so much for watching! As always, I hope everyone enjoyed. A big shout out to our Patreon supporters, Jay Blakewood, Konosard, Power of Chaos, Mary, Edu, Gibrilia, the Loyal Servant of Her Majesty, the Tsaritsa, Ruru, Axel Iron, Jay Quellen, Lunar, Mathsan, Martine, Marcus, Sal, Don't Call It, Brian, Warp, Summer, Mo, Lizaria, Kagora, all of our anonymous patrons, and a new patron who recently joined the team, Illy May. I hope you enjoyed. Thank you so much for your support. And I will see everyone in the next one. Bye now!